Welcome to my channel, guys. My name is James. Today we're going to be doing something that's very important in the kitchen as well. We're going to be making a base ingredient. We're going to be making some chicken stock. Now, in a video not that long ago, I showed you how to cut up a chicken in a very detailed video. So if you want to see that, I'll leave that in the link down below. And I also showed in that video on how to make a brown chicken stock. Today we're going to make a normal one. And I will also describe, or at least explain a little bit on how you can save a little bit of money when buying chicken at the store instead of buying it already pre-cut, prefabricated. So guys, if you're interested in learning on, well, more cooking tips, more helpful hints on how to improve your cooking, as well as learning some good and delicious recipes, then be sure to hit that little notification bell down below, as well as subscribe to my YouTube channel for more content. And if you do like the video, then please do hit that little like button, as it helps greatly with the algorithm, more than you think. And it can, well, help the video as well be promoted to other people. So guys, let's get going. Now we're gonna go over some of the ingredients that we're gonna use for today. And if you want, as I would always suggest, experiment a little with either adding or omitting one or two of these ingredients to see what you like. This is the most important thing, is always experimenting with such recipes, because at the end, not everybody may like, say, star anise or any of the other ingredients that are in, say, one or two recipes. First, for the ingredients, we're going to start off with some onions. We're going to leave the skin on because this adds to the colorment or the pigmentation. If you're making a white chicken stock, you can take it off. Me, it's not really that big of a deal, so I'm going to leave it on. But we're going to cut off the tips or cut off the ends and cut these into large squares or mirepoix size, so they're easier to remove. Then we're also going to add some leeks. This is another type of onion, and the best part of the leek is actually from about here to here is the white part. And also the white part, the whiter they are, the sweeter they are. So when you want to cut this up or clean this, you're just going to cut the bottom off from here, and then you're going to cut lengthways and then slice. And then you want to give these a good rinse or a wash, because they have a lot of dirt inside these leaves here. And then for the celery, we're also going to be cutting this up today. I'm going to give this a little bit of a rinse since this has a little bit of dirt. I'm going to use only about half of it because I'm making half the amount that I normally make. And then anytime that you're making stalks or anything like this for the carrots, you don't have to peel them. They need to be clean, but you don't need to peel them. So I'm just going to cut the tops off and then cut these into little rounds. Again, more or less the same size as the onions. And just so everyone knows, these three things right here, carrots, onions, and celery, this is mirepoix. This is the base of making many stocks, soups, stews, and also other dishes for French cuisine. So this is very typical, these three things. Now also for this recipe, we're going to be using a little bit of parsley, and I would recommend, if you can get your hands on some, fresh thyme, because thyme is a very fragrant herb. It adds a lot of fragrance to anything that you add it to, especially fresh. This is more or less the same recipe as the beef stock recipe, but I am going to change it a little bit, and I'm going to add a whole bulb of garlic. So we're just going to cut this straight down the middle and then add this into the stock. Again, we're gonna add bay leaves because they add a lot of aroma and fragrance to the stock. And then with my recipes, or for chicken stock, I like to add star anise. And these little things are extremely fragrant. They add a lot of, well, aroma and also flavor to the stock. It'll sweeten it a little bit. This is what they make licorice out of. And no, I like adding these to the stock. But as always, if you don't know, you don't have to add them. You can experiment. But I would suggest, if you do have these, add these at least once. Try it and see what you think. And then we're going to add some black peppercorns. You don't want to go overboard on these, but about 8 to 10, maybe 12 is okay for the size stock that we're making today. And for our main ingredient, we're going to be using a whole chicken. Now, I would recommend actually getting a whole chicken normally at the store, because if you look at the price difference when you go to the grocery store, You can pay, say, $5 or $6 or euros for a couple chicken breasts, so like a pound or a pound and a half, and then you can pay again about €5 or €6 or dollars for a whole chicken, at least where I am. So it actually makes sense to buy a whole chicken. You save the money. Not only do I get 2 chicken breasts, but I get 2 legs, I get wings, and I get the actual bones to make stock. So I can make more things out of it, save money, and on top of it, I don't have to pay somebody to package it, to cut it up, and to do everything for me when, you know, I can do everything myself. Now, since I already made a video on how to cut up a whole chicken, I will leave the link in the description down below. And if you also click here in the corner of the video, you can see that video. So today I'm just going to show you a very quick method on doing it instead of actually explaining everything. Basically, yeah, with a little chickie, you start, well, we're going to start by the legs. You just make a little incision here and here. That's it. Spread them, spread the legs, pop them until you see this little bone come out, and you're just going to cut around the bone. It's a little hard with the camera, but more or less like this. Just remove both legs, and then we're going to do the same thing for the wings. You want to feel for the joint, which is more or less right here in this groove. Just going to cut, make a little incision. And cut it out. Do the same thing with the other wing. And now to remove the breast, we just want to cut along this bone right here. Just want to follow the bone down. So you make a little incision. And just keep following the bone. And you can cut around the wishbone, which is right here. Or you can break through it, which I showed in my other video. Just want to follow all the way down though. Just cut all the way down. Keep trimming, keep trimming, keep trimming. Until you remove one breast. And then you do the same on the other side. And now you have the carcass. If you have a little bit of meat on it, that's okay. It's a little difficult doing this with the camera. But in any case, what I would suggest doing now for the carcass is to remove the excess fat, because you don't want that. And also to give it a wash and to clean out anything inside here. Clean out all the blood and any other of the organs or anything else. Clean it all out. Wash it out with water and clean it. And after you divide and cut the chicken up, I am then going to get the little saute pan on. Again, if you have a large stock pot, I would recommend using a large stock pot. Since I don't, if you're in the same predicament that I am with a small kitchen and you don't have the space, you may have to divide everything up into multiple pots to make the stock, which again, it's not ideal, but it gets the job done, and that's how it is. So first we're gonna get the pot hot. I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil to the pan. I'm gonna add the onions in. I'm gonna saute just a little bit, not that much, just to wilt the vegetables. I'm gonna add the carrots, the leeks, the celery, add everything into it. We're also going to wash the chicken carcass out. It's important that you want to get all the excess blood and anything that's inside of it out, as this can add a bitter flavor to the stock. And once the vegetables are mostly wilted, we're gonna add the entire chicken carcass to the pan. I'm gonna add the rest of the garlic, the star anise, the pepper, the bay leaves, everything else in. We're not adding any salt to this. We're gonna make an unsalted chicken stock, as we may want to add salt to whatever we add this to later on, and that way we can control it better. I'm going to fill the water up to the very top. Actually, you want it up a little higher than what the vegetables and chicken are at, more or less 2 fingers, so an inch, inch and a half. If it starts to boil down too much, you can add a little more water to the stock. It's not gonna hurt it. We're gonna bring this up to a roaring boil, and then once this comes up to a boil, we're going to drop it down to a slow simmer. We want to simmer this for about 4 to 5 hours. You can cook this in an hour if you want, but then you're not gonna get all the nutrients and all the flavors out of the stock. That would be a very quick chicken stock, and it's not gonna have a lot of flavor. If you cook this for like 3 or 4 hours, or even 5, to where everything literally will start to disintegrate, the whole chicken will start to fall apart, and you strain it, you notice a massive difference with all the flavors that you have extracted, not just from the chicken, but also from the vegetables and the spices and herbs. After your timer goes off, check the stock, taste it as well. This is a good step in the process. You always want to taste your work or to see how it's coming along. And now what we're going to do is we're going to turn it off the heat. I'm going to take my colander or a fine sieve, and we're going to strain the stock little by little. You don't want to splash everything everywhere. So I'm going to do mine in the sink. You may have to strain it twice if there's a lot of debris and if you want to get all the little pieces out. You're going to let this cool. Once it's cooled down a little bit, we're going to put it into the fridge. You're going to take it out of the fridge, remove all the excess fat that has risen to the surface after it's solidified. And there you have it, easy and delicious chicken stock that can go with any soups, stews, sauces, or in anything else that you want to put your chicken stock in, to make risotto, to make even say a paella de montagna or anything else. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this super easy recipe for a very important ingredient in the kitchen. Like I said, this is not a finished product, although you could add say a little bit of salt to this, some more vegetables, and make a nice chicken soup, which this is a base for chicken soup as well. So it's that time of year again, isn't it? But in any case, if you like these useful cooking culinary tips as well as delicious recipes, then be sure to hit that little subscribe button down below, ring that notification bell so you know when my other videos come out, and again, hit that like button as it helps greatly with the algorithm. It really does. Until then guys, I'm gonna see you guys again soon. Take care, have a great week, and bye.